Okay, so let's hop into it. We've got a robust agenda today, and obviously on our countdown towards the Invention Convention in early June. For those that haven't been on the call before, if you're not on the screen share, you might want to do that. We're sharing slides right now. So if you go to either the calendar invite or the confirmation email, you'll see a link to a screen share. Besides being able to dial in, you can also see the slides as we're going along. And just so you all know, this is being recorded, so if you have to duck out early, you can certainly watch what you missed later on. So our mission as... Yep.
Bill, what am I missing here? I'm looking at numbers flashing before me.
I'm not seeing a shared screen either, Bill.
Danny, you're unclear. I'm sorry?
I am not seeing a shared screen.
Oh, so
right.
Let me go back 1 second here. Okay.
Lucy Howell's joined the call.
That's good, Lucy, because you're the first slide.
And your audio is not clear.
All right, let me dial in.
Okay, there you are.
Oh, hang on. I'll try that again. Okay, you can see me now?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, yep. Good. All right, well, let's go back to presentation mode. Thanks for letting me know. The service we use, join.me, just sort of changed their software a little bit, so that has me confused, apparently. So let's see. So our mission as the Invention Convention is to provide students with opportunities to develop creative problem-solving and problem identification techniques through inventing, innovating, and entrepreneurial activities, leading to greater consideration of STEM careers in high school and college. The one thing I'd ask...
You've got a feedback, Bill.
Yep. Hold on. I'm just about to address that. So if I could ask anyone that is not speaking to put your phone on mute, that will keep our feedback to a minimum. So if you're not on mute, if you could go on mute, that would be lovely. So let's see. Let's hop into our slides here. So our agenda is, Danny's going to welcome Lucy Howell. We're going to talk about some of the team updates. We'll go through some logistics. We'll talk about the RISD or RISD Invention Convention recap and the video production items, legal stuff, and then open the floor and talk about our next meeting date. So without further ado, let's hop in. Danny, do you want to talk about Lucy Howell and introduce us to her?
Sure. So Lucy joined us halfway through the last meeting. We were going to do this slide beforehand. Lucy's just joining us from the Henry Ford, where she just accepted the position of Director of Learning and Engagement, and she's going to be in charge of launching the Michigan Invention Convention and helping us coordinate getting NICE there in 2018, and also is in charge or in some way involved with the whole Pearson curriculum effort that the Henry Ford is doing. Gave her a little bit of a background there. Lucy, do you want to say hi and give people some idea of what you're working on?
Hi, everyone. So first of all, it's Lucy with an IE. So it's L-U-C-I-E.
I had that. I had changed that. Let me change that back.
I know
everyone
tries. Yeah, spell correct tries to autocorrect so many things, so it's no problem. So as Danny mentioned, I joined the Henry Ford team about 3 months ago as their Director of Learning and Engagement, and as a consequence, it's my team that will be the point team working on a Michigan Invention Convention and supporting the NICE 2018 activities as well. Just to give you I'm also my team's the point team on the Pearson project too, so I can give you some heads up about that in the future. I will tell you that today is our kind of launch day for that project, so I've actually been in meetings today and will be in there all day tomorrow, so I may have a clearer picture then about that one. I moved here. I just moved back to Michigan. I actually spent about 4.5 years in Connecticut, and I was working both at Quinnipiac University and for Teach for America there as a STEM director in both areas. And I'm excited to kind of join this STEMI coalition and learn from the experts. So I'm going to spend a lot of time listening and finding out how this works and how you make it work so successfully in each of your areas. So thank you for letting me be part of this. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's great
Thanks,
to have
Lucy.
you here, Lucy. I am hearing your Connecticut accent. It sounds very Connecticut.
Yes. There's a little bit of that. So so obviously I'm from the UK originally. I actually grew up in Africa, so if anyone ever wants to ask me about that, they're welcome. And funnily enough, I've been planning a family trip for where some of my family through the UK are coming over. We're actually going to be meeting in Vermont and flying through Hartford. Unfortunately, my 1-year-old nephew has learned today that he has had his visa waiver application denied.
Ooh.
So they may not be able to make it. But them's great, right?
Yeah. Hopefully that gets solved quickly. Well, welcome. It's great to have you here. And Danny, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, just welcome, Lucy. And we had a few other new names on the agenda here. I don't have slides for them. Ron Katz is joining us as the new executive director from Connecticut, replacing Helen Charoff. For those of you who interfaced with Helen over the past several years, Ron is stepping into her her pumps, maybe, her shoes, I don't know, stepping into her spot there. And Ron, you want to give everybody a little bit of your background?
Yeah, thanks. Just real quick. I've been with CIC since October. Before that, I spent 3 years working with the VEX robotics competition worldwide, and prior to that, first got involved in STEM education, helping to build a Connecticut Science Center here in Hartford. I was there for about 6 years. I've been in the nonprofit world for about 25 years, doing a whole bunch of things, and I absolutely love this organization. So happy to be part of the group.
Great. Thanks for that, Ron. And it sounds like you and Lucy might have a lot to talk about. She's probably leaving behind a lot of great connections here in Connecticut that you might try to tap into.
Absolutely.
I also heard a new name from South Carolina, or else I've missed it before. What was that, Bill?
Was it Lauren?
Lauren?
Yes, that's me.
Hi, Lauren. You want to tell everybody a little about yourself?
Sure. So I started with Invention in July. I took over for Abby Etzel. I don't know if any of you guys remember her name. She was here for 3 years. And I actually just graduated from Presbyterian College in May. So I'm fresh on the scene.
Okay, well,
perfect.
Awesome.
Well, welcome.
Feel free to ask a lot of questions.
Will do. Thank you.
Is there anybody else on the call that I didn't tap? Okay. Go on,
that's
Bill.
everybody. So, Jen, do you want to lead from here?
Sure, Bill. Just to introduce, we'll get some steering committee team updates. And without further ado, we will segue to the judging team.
Excellent. So, okay, quick judging team update. The criteria and the judging process are complete and they're online, and we'll include this link. I don't expect you to write this down, but in the follow-up email, so that'll go out either later tonight or tomorrow. But you can certainly see the 2017 process and all the criteria.
And if everybody would please take a moment this week to go there and look at that and raise any flags now before we get really into the depth of the season, that would be really awesome, so we can consider this truly closed out from any further comments within the next week or so.
Great. Thank you. And we have had some questions about what is an invention and or our games and apps inventions. So it's really pretty simple. We've adopted the USPTO's definition of an invention, which is here on this slide. Again, we'll share this with you. We may even put it up on the website so it's really clear. For anyone that has a question about what is an invention, again, here's the definition. So it's essentially anything that it could be patentable is really what we would consider an invention. But this is what we'll go back to with any question that you have. This will be our reference. That's from the judging team. The at-large participation team, which for those that don't know what that is, to be clear, besides the inventions or inventors that we'll take from all of you, we're also going to take a small portion of inventors who are unaffiliated with the state or regional program. And so we've got all the information put together on this in Danny's hand for final approval and posting on the site. So that should be up in a matter of days. So just a reminder before I pass it back to Jen, if you could, if you're not speaking, if you could put your phone on mute, that will help us keep the sound quality good. So Jen, we have, who's running the educational components team? No update, I guess. And then
that has moved. Bill, that has moved from Lori to Veronica. Veronica is going to be taking that from here. And so there's no update. There's been no movement specifically on that this month.
All right. And then the data. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Veronica.
I was just going to say, if there were people on this call that were on that committee, they can look for an update from me in the next couple of days. We're going to try to reconvene probably the next week or two. Lori and I are going to get on the same page next week.
Excellent. And who's leading the data research team?
That's me, Roxanne in Georgia. We just finalized the demographic questions, and we're talking with Jen about how we're going to incorporate those into registration. And then we're also looking at a post-event survey, and I got some great feedback from Annalisa in Chicago and some others, so we're kind of looking at how to get that formative feedback.
Super. Excellent. So on to 114 days. Is this you, Danny, or is this Jen?
Bill, just before we close that out, Roxanne, Sonia and I met with the UConn School of Education graduate student team that's been assigned to our project to help us put together a measurement strategy and everything. And Sonia and I need to do a dump of that to you. And so you're involved with that. And they've got a lot of really good ideas and stuff, but let's try to find a time that's convenient for you, me, and Sonia to go ahead and talk about that effort.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right, on to 114 days. So is this Danny or Jen?
I'll take it.
All righty.
So as Danny had mentioned, with respect to the judging information, we've made some wholesale updates on NICE information on the STEMI website. We've changed so many things, so please, if there's something you see, feel free to let us know, a typo or something like that, or if something's not clear. We certainly would want to get that cleaned up, so your feedback would be most welcome. The other piece is we're changing up how we're going to book the hotel rooms this year, putting it in the hands of parents, since so many parents attended last year. We'll be using a hotel link where the families can book their hotel direct through their assigned link. So I will be getting the links to the delegation leaders kind of towards the end of this month as we are finalizing your allocation numbers, right? The hope was by February 22nd that if you were going to be bringing a delegation larger than what we had allocated, we do have some flexibility for that. Or on the flip side, if you are unable to get your delegation target, we would want to know that as well. So those delegation numbers right, also factor into the hotel assignment. So all of those things are fairly interdependent.
This is Beth.
Jen, this is Danny. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, Danny, but Beth gets to go first.
Okay, thank
Ladies
you.
first.
I was looking at the website today, and I may have just missed it, but is the online grades 1 and 2, is there a link on the website for the online registration for the grades 1 and 2?
At this point, we have not put on the website individual registrations or project registration yet. That is a work in progress.
Okay, thank you.
You didn't miss it. It's not there.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Danny.
Just a question, or actually sort of a comment question, is that, you know, for the states that are still going to use a chaperone model for bringing kids to DC, the chaperones, I'm presuming, Jen, you would have them be making the hotel room reservations where you've got multiple kids in the rooms. How were you planning on coordinating that?
Yes, that would be the plan there. And if they are unable to do it, then would be able to manage a much smaller subset rooming list. But the preference is that the adult responsible for the students would be responsible for booking their hotel rooms.
Thanks.
Sure. Anybody else? Alrighty. As also a gentle reminder here on the social media front, as you are beginning to ramp up to do your events, or perhaps you have schools and other programs who are doing local events, that as you're posting to your Facebook pages, please make sure that they roll up to the STEMI Facebook page so we can also celebrate on the larger scale and platform all the great work that you and your students are doing. The other item on this page is in the process of building the program book for 2017, and would really like to update and refresh some of the student inventor pictures. There are student inventors either demonstrating their inventions or perhaps standing at their displays. So would like about 15 or so new pictures for the book. If you could send them to me sooner the better, but I also understand you guys are going to look for the freshest, right, and pull from events you have in progress. So happy to give everyone till April 1st. If I get more than 15 pictures, I will rotate them in other ways or save them for next time. But would love to get your photos, so thank you.
So do we
and I'm
have,
happy to share that, right? So yeah. The one invention convention is already done, and Austin is going to tell us what they've been doing at his school in Texas.
All right, thank you all so much. This is Austin again from Texas, and we had the Richardson Independent School District Invention Convention November 5th last year, and we held it at a local high school, and we had at the local level, the school level, about over 500 students compete. And then from that, they went to the district level where we had about 140 students competing. And so from that, we had several categories and special area awards. At the very end of the competition, we worked with a local patent firm, Baker Bots, and they were able to decide the two winners that will be sending from Richardson ISD. We had one sixth grade winner. His name is Dylan Fan, and his invention will be participating at the National Invention Convention competition. And then we had another student who will be competing virtually, which at the time we were understanding that it was going to be a kinder through third grade submission, and then it changed to second grade. So our virtual submission is actually a third grader. And Jen, did we have another slide on this to show pictures from the event?
We do have 3 more slides to share.
Perfect. So this is our district level competition. We had, like I said, 140 students competing. We had several judges going around to the different tables. And the comments that was shared by our judging panel were that this was by far one of the most competitive years that they've seen at the Richardson ISD level. In fact, one of our students, you can actually see in this picture, was a student, and he had, where was he? Let's see here. Yes, he had developmental processing, and so the judges were very concerned that he would not be able to articulate clearly while he was presenting, but he was very well versed and did a phenomenal job, and he actually walked away with a first place medal, so we were very proud of him. if we'll go to the next slide, I think it's of Dylan. I want to share about Dylan. There's Dylan. Dylan is our 6th grade winner from Prestonwood Elementary, which is a Title I campus. And Dylan and his father will be headed to D.C. To compete, and his invention is really unique. He created an invention called Walk Without Eyes, and when I interviewed him about his process and why he invented this invention, he said it was because he knew a lot of firefighters who, in the line of work, were unable to see what was in front of them. So he created a shoe that has built-in sensors in the shoe that vibrates and provides a tactile sensation when it's approaching an object that cannot be seen. And so his invention targets people with visual impairment or people who have occupations where their vision becomes impaired. So he looks forward to sharing that with you guys in D.C. We're still in the process of securing funding for him and his family, but we are looking forward to that. So thank you all so much for listening to the RISD Invention Convention still.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see, and Jen, video production.
Sure. So we will be sending folks a link later this week. We've got a completion on the JIC and the Invention Convention, and we've got a couple others that are in the planning process. Again, as I made the call out for photos, we could always use video footage, especially for B-roll purposes, right, to actions of the kiddos as people are perhaps talking about the Invention Convention process. So if you have any videos, please let me know, and we will get them uploaded to our raw footage folders. Also, too, if you're planning to shoot any, having your Invention Conventions videotape, we would love to know that. So perhaps we could also coordinate some specific shots that we are looking to collect. So if you could let me know if you're planning to have a videographer for your Invention Convention programs coming up, so we can coordinate some plan shots. And also if you have some really great footage from years past, we would love to share that as well, again, to try to give as much exposure to all of the programs across the country as we can.
Hey, Jen?
Yes.
Hi, it's Danny. So I had a great call this morning with Beth Brubaker. And by the way, Beth, welcome to a live call. We know you're usually listening to us on the recorded version.
Thank you, Danny.
You had a day off where you could join us. Welcome. And in any event, one thing came out of this is she's having her event at a university, and the university was providing someone to go ahead and live stream the finals for people that couldn't be there. And we had a discussion and said, well, that same person could probably go around and take a lot of video footage. And Beth is actually having a speaker fly in from Los Angeles that's a famous personality. And, getting the university to see a famous personality on campus is another reason why they might put the bill to do some more higher quality video footage and do some of that. So as you go to have your events in different places, you might think about, are there some reasons why the venue where you're having it may want to film and provide you with a videographer for free? If it's on a university campus, they often have contractual arrangements with videographers for all sorts of events that they do. Since this is great footage for them to send up the ladder to their own board of directors or board of trustees, there might be some ways to tap into budget and other resources there for the video. We are going to be ramping up the video stuff tremendously in the next month. And so if you are doing video, and I know Veronica, you guys are doing a lot of video. Beth, you're going to be doing some video. Let's get on the phone and review what we're going to do and what you guys are doing and try to coordinate it together so that we aren't stepping on there's no need paying two different people to do the same thing. And so let's try to coordinate that. And so if we could set up a call at your convenience to talk through what you're doing, and we'll share what we're doing. And anybody else is there anybody else that's planning on doing any video production that they've already got scheduled this year? Sue, are you guys doing any in Connecticut that you know of?
Hi, no, Danny, not that I know of at the moment.
Okay, so in that case, Beth and Veronica, maybe we could get on the phone towards the end of the week or whatever. That would be awesome. Thanks, Jen.
Okay, Jen, is this you or Danny, IP industry travel sponsorships?
Oh, I guess that comes back to me. We've been working with Veronica to put together a slide deck for her to go. She's actually knows the head of the, I don't know, is it CIPLA Cleveland or Cincinnati, Veronica? It's one of those.
Cleveland Intellectual Property Law Association. I know, say that 10
Right. Right. So we put together a deck to give you guys an idea of what that deck looks like. There it is. And the key thing we're going to be trying to do this year is, last year, if you recall, we did $2,500 a firm, and some people felt that was a mismatch with the way firms have partnerships, that we're better off going after individuals. And so she's going to float the new plan by the head of CIPLA in Ohio and get his feedback. And we're going to be actually putting up code on the website to support this and come up with state-specific decks. And the goal here is to raise money to send kids to nationals. And we hope to be bringing on some resource in the fundraising area that will help you guys get in touch with your IP lawyer associations in each state. There are branches in each state, and so we are going to be making a big push this month to get all that in place and to get in front of people as quickly as possible. So when we start talking about how to pay to send kids to DC, if you think about this, the addressable marketplace is at least $4 to $6 million a year among the lawyers that are in the U.S., and so we only need a fraction of that to go ahead and pay for all the expenses for the kids and their parents to get to DC. So I know I've been talking about this a lot. Now we're actually putting it into action. We're having meetings. We're setting up decks for you guys, and we're going to reach out to each state and talk about how we can go and engage the people in your state. Any questions on that? Okay. Bill?
Excellent. So, wow, we've run through what we had really quickly, and we're on to open topics. So what whether it's an agenda item or a non-agenda item, what questions or other topics would anyone like to talk about? And you can come off mute to ask, please.
Bill, I know that Susan had some great ideas about a software website that she uses to manage volunteer sign-up, and she wanted to share with everybody. Susan, you want to go ahead and tell people about that?
Sure. Bill, if you could go to tinyurl.com/volunteercic.
So slash, what was it? Volunteer.
/volunteer CIC, one word.
Got it.
So this is Sign Up Genius. It's got a free version and a paid version. What we did this year is create the ability for us to aggregate all of our different jobs that we need volunteers to do for the 5 different events that we'll be doing. So we'll be having 4 regionals across our state, plus a finals competition, and this all happens before the national competition. And what Sign Up Genius allows you to do is essentially set up different tasks you want volunteers to do from one event, or you can do the way I've listed, which is multiple events with similar tasks for each event. You can name the number of slots that you need in terms of how many people you think you need for each position. You can customize it per time slot so that you can tell them I only need you from 7 a.m. to noon instead of all day. They don't have to be a member of Sign Up Genius in order to be able to interact with their login, and if they need to do things like swap a slot with a friend, they can do that, or sign up multiple people at the same time, they can do that as well. We found this a very easy way to engage audiences. For example, high school kids who need to have volunteer hours done for community service. It's the same thing with service fraternities and sororities at college levels for the colleges where we will be having our events. In addition to our longtime volunteers who just seem to come out of the woodwork every year and do the same job over and over again. So there are staunch leaders in all of this, and we always put them in lead spots to help introduce and train most of our new volunteers.
Cool.
Any questions?
Excellent. So, are there any other topics, anything else that people had questions about or wanted to address with regard to the National Invention Convention or your state program?
This is Veronica. I have a quick question. Maybe it won't be quick. Julie and I are both on here from Ohio. And this year, we're going to be doing a video state qualifier, so that the kids actually have to submit a video very similar to what they do at nationals in order to qualify for the state competition. And I was just curious if any of the states have done that yet, or if they're planning on doing it like nationals did it, and how that went as far as how many judges and mentors and things like that you needed lined up.
A good question. Does anyone know if there is a state that does virtual judging?
I think the national stuff that we did last year was the first that I had heard of people doing it in volume.
Okay. So for the 250 round number kids that you had submit videos, how many judges did you have judging those for how long? I mean, we're just trying to, kind of plan it out from a mentor perspective and make sure that we have those volunteers ready.
Sure.
So what do we have, about 60?
Yeah, I can get you the exact numbers, but it was probably somewhere between 60 and 80, and we did all the judging. It was within a 2 to 3 week time period, probably within about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm happy to chat offline if you want to get into some detail on it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Other questions or topics anyone want to chat about?
Jen, do you want to talk about your conversation with the Fallon people?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I actually had a conversation with, not from Fallon, but the casting producer from the Ellen DeGeneres show. In March, Ellen is looking to do a special segment with student inventors. Age 7 to 11 is the sweet spot she's looking for. The woman's casting director's name, her name is Carly. I understand she's reached out to many folks in the Invention convention space, so it's quite possible you have also already received a contact or communication from Carly or a member of her team. Essentially, they're looking to have parents and their students submit a short video as a screening tape, right, a screening audition, to then present their video very pitch-like, and also as to why they'd be a good visitor on the Ellen DeGeneres show. This is something Ellen had done, I guess, some years back. They'd taken a bit of a break, and they're gearing back up again. So we're definitely trying to get the word out that way. If any of the students, as students are selected, the show will provide coverage for the student and a parent, all costs. Essentially, it's, from your home airport and back again, they'll take care of it. You just have to get yourself to the airport.
Hey, Jen.
Yes.
This is Susan. I also want to offer, you may have heard of David Garcia. He's the producer for Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. He's also been reaching out recently, I think probably the same day Ellen did, to do something similar. So I have some contact information for anyone who may be interested to respond to David. Last year we submitted, something like 50 videos. None of our kids got selected, but that's okay. It was a fun process. Anyway, let me know. Just reach out to me if you'd like me to send you the information. Be happy to.
Yeah, personally, I'm a little disappointed in the outreach that they've been doing because they're looking for funny kids with wacky inventions that they can get a good laugh. And while we certainly all enjoy those, I would really like to see a venue where we can recognize the kids that are really doing really awesome things that can change the world. And so there are select celebrities that actually have given good and appropriate coverage to kids in the past that we're going to be reaching out to and trying to get them to take the winners of NICE and put them on air to showcase those kids. And so we're trying to find the right home for someone that's willing to give the right attention and not to say, hey, look at this stupid thing. Can you believe it? So anyway, we're on a hunt for that. And if anybody has any ideas, let us know.
Cool. Any other topics anyone wanted to chat about? We don't need to prolong the call if we're wrapped up, but certainly want to address anything anybody had as a question or comment. So our next meeting is Tuesday, March 7th. You should have received a calendar invite for that yesterday, as well as calendar invites through June, and you'll see the June one is after the Invention Convention. The idea is to do that as a debrief or even a pre-brief on 2018. So we want to very quickly talk again and capture feedback and look ahead to the following year. But any other closing comments that you have, Danny or Jen?
This is Brenda. Can I give one?
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Susan for time above and beyond helping California get up and running. Just lots of wonderful help. So just to thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Brenda. And thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Brenda.
Jen or Danny, any closing comments before we let everybody go back to getting great things done?
I think we're good. Thanks, Jen, for all the hard work and getting NICE. I know this is you're entering your peak season here, and thanks for all the hard work that you're doing on getting everything changed on the website and moving things from committee onto the website.
Thanks, Danny. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. You'll see a follow-up in the next day or so. Holler if you need anything.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, everybody.